I just want to talk about the Tony Awards last night. That's about all I wanted to talk about. It's very quick.
Okay. Because we don't have much to say about Mod, except I found a Mod pod that I sent you, right?
Right. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet.
God will get you for that, Walter.
God will get it. That's the perfect Mod pod title. That is perfect.
I don't know if it's a good podcast, so I'm not going to talk about it.
No, that's why I haven't heard it yet. But no, last night were the Tony Awards. And, just in my opinion, they weren't gay enough.
Okay.
No, that's a total lie.
I didn't see them.
No, that's a total lie. They were totally gay. Like the first commercial was an HIV medication, and it just got gayer from that.
It's the Seti Bimco Show with your hosts, Tim and John. At the end of this show, we will reveal who really murdered Tim.
But anyway, so, they were talking, they were all about their diversity and everything, because they had all these, they had transgender nominees and they had people of color who were nominated. And, they start, handing out the Tony Awards and they're all going to white people. Granted, a lot of them were white people with English accents, but still, they're going to white people. And Patti LuPone won her third Tony Award last night for Best Featured Actress in a Musical for the revival of Company, which apparently they have swapped the genders on all the roles. So now instead of
hear about this.
Bobby with a Y, a male 35-year-old being told by his friends he needs to get married, it's Bobby with an I, a 35-year-old woman being told that she should get married because she's 35 years old. And probably they don't change a word of dialogue, but directing it at a man and then directing it at a woman, I'm guessing, probably changes the whole tone of the show.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Patti LuPone won her third Tony Award last night. And, I got to be honest with you. Patti LuPone kind of frightens me. I'm going to say that out loud. I think Patti LuPone is very mean. Now, I do agree with her stance on she snatched cell phones out of audience members' hands and giving them back to them at the end of the show.
I saw that. She's
yelled at people to put their mask back on during performances. I totally agree with that. But I think Patti LuPone is a very mean person. I'll bet you she makes the children in her neighborhood cry. She did that show Life Goes On with the actor with Down syndrome. I heard she made the kid with Down syndrome cry. I'll bet you she did that. She's just a mean, terrible person. I just have this idea. That's what Patti LuPone. I think Patti LuPone would frighten me. I would be afraid. I think I would be afraid to even look at Patti LuPone wrong because I'm afraid.
I'm going to cross off the list of possible guests for this show.
No, she might come on and defend herself. Bring it on, Patti LuPone. I might not be there because I might, at the last minute, I might back out at the last minute just out of fear. But I was noticing. So she won her first Tony Award in 1980 for Evita, Best Lead Actress in a Musical, and then she won her second Tony Award in 2008. It took 28 years to win her second Tony Award, Best Lead Actress in a Musical, for a revival of Gypsy. And apparently, I think they had to give her that Tony 28 years later because members of the American Theater Wing were having these mysterious deaths. And now they can't actually pin them on Patti LuPone. But being that she is such a mean, terrible person, so they're like, let's give her another Tony Award. And apparently they got a little antsy this time. They only waited, 14 years this time to give her another Tony Award, which got me to thinking, she's murdering all these members of the American Theater Wing. If they do a reboot of Maude, I think Patti LuPone should play Maude.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
That's all you have to say.
Tony Awards, really super gay as always. They call the Oscars the gay man's Super Bowl. I'm guessing the Tony Awards are like the gay man's World Cup. Yeah.
And I don't have much else to say, except that you were talking about the Tonys not being gay enough. I went to PEX for Donut Day. They had a gay pride donut with the rainbow colors on it.
Oh, okay.
And they had a lot of other donuts. And I said to the guy waiting on me, I said, is the gay donut any special flavor? And he's like, no, it's just vanilla inside. So it shows that we're just like everyone else inside.
No.
I was like, okay. I was like, no, I don't know. I think that donut needs to be more gay. And
yes.
And he laughed. And he said I had to buy it because I talked about the gay donut. So
there you go.
I had to buy that.
Maybe
I wanted the lemon one.
If I was a little quicker on my feet, they could come up with a Patty LuPone donut. But I don't know what would that taste like. What does that taste like? Vinegar? Yeah, there you go. Patty LuPone frightens me.
Hopefully she'll never listen to this podcast. But
oh gosh, I hope
we're going to have the famous Kevin Kablasto on, and let's get him out of the green room. I think he's in there playing his flute. I hear flute noises, and
yes, I hear it.
At least he's not eating the food that's left over.
This generation Zamfir, yes.
All right, well, let's get to it.
Yay!
By the way, should we introduce you as Mr. Kablasto? How would you like to be?
Yeah, Kevin Kablasto works. I threw John by labeling myself here as Chuck.
Chuck, yeah.
For Zinneman. Yeah.
You did.
So, yeah, that's what it says. That's what John
that's right. It is Kevin, Chuck. And I'm looking at my notes now, and I'm like so confused.
That's good. No,
let me introduce you, because I see you have a pan flute in your hands, which scares me.
Oh, I do.
But
yeah.
This week on the show, we have Kevin Kablasto, the co-host of the podcast called Spaghetti and Freddy, or is it Freddy and Spaghetti?
That's a very good question. I was just corrected moments ago because I apparently said it wrong. I mean, we've only done 12 episodes or so.
You did 12? You did not.
We did. We haven't released any yet.
Oh my God! When's it come out?
I'm gonna have nothing. I'm gonna have nothing to talk about if we get to everything immediately. Let's say, hold on. I'm literally scrolling through Discord right now to see the name of the podcast I'm on. I think it's. I'm not.
I think it's Freddy and Spaghetti.
What did Yoli say? Spaghetti and Freddy. That's what she said. Okay, so the name of the podcast is Spaghetti and Freddy, and
it's going to start this month.
Yeah, as soon as we have a logo, which should be maybe literally tonight.
Okay.
I have my girlfriend's a designer, and she's working on it while I was watching the movie.
How many times have you told her that it wasn't right? And do it over.
Yeah, she said she fell asleep last night while working on it, and
I'd fire her.
I would. Yeah. I threatened breaking up with her, but that's kind of worse than staying with her. So. But
there you go.
So, but yeah, eventually it'll come out.
And I have not met Yoli.
Yeah,
I've met her online, just like you. I've never met her. Mm-hmm. She's in California.
She's in Southern California, and I'm in Rochester, New York. So
you're not just down the road from me.
I know. I was really surprised to find out where you were located. And
how's Kodak doing?
yeah.
I think you can get that for $3.90 a share now or something. Yeah.
Good God! Don't get me started. Although, here's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm. Did
you know that? So, thank God for Kodak in some ways, because we have the George Eastman House, and there's a theater here. The Dryden Theater, and they show a lot of great movies, and I met a lot of great celebrities that way.
I know the Dryden Theater. Yes, I do.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, even though Kodak's a shell of what it used to be, everything else is thriving that he kind of brought to the area. So
Eastman School of Music.
Is it? Yep, exactly. Yeah, Eastman School of Music's huge, and other things. Also, yes.
Oh, I'm just saying I haven't been there in years, so.
It actually is a really great town. I don't know why I don't spend more time there. Rochester is actually a really great town. I listen to the NPR, the classical music station, WXXI. I listen to that. That's what I normally wake up to in the morning. Rochester is an awesome town. There used to be a great club down there, and I don't think it's existed for 30 years, probably. It was called the Glass Onion.
Wait. Okay, I was going to try to say the name of the club before you said it, hoping it was the same one.
Ballmasters.
Yeah.
Ballmasters.
I listened to that episode. I actually listened to that episode.
Lightsaber Ballmasters. Yeah.
You know what? I just realized I didn't check any. Okay. I like to make sure the sound is not coming out of my speakers. I was looking at your sound, and I didn't get what you meant, but your name is Chuck Forsman. Okay.
Yeah. Close enough. The last name's a little butchered, but I'm not good with names. So,
Did you call the show this week?
I sent them a voicemail. Or sorry, I sent them an email with audio attached.
Okay, I called for the first time because I was drunk watching War of the Gargantuans. So just so you know.
War of the Gargantuans. I haven't seen it in forever.
Yeah, I grabbed it from the library because it was there, and I'm like, I have to get this.
Was it a good copy?
It's a DVD, so.
Are there two versions?
It's with Rodan and
War of the Gargantuans. Oh, you posted this.
Yeah.
No, I meant, is there a Japanese version of? Somebody said there was a Japanese version of Gargantuans.
I have no idea.
I don't know what that means.
We were busy watching Mosquito, which we got from the library.
I think I know what that means, Tim, because I saw it on Turner Classic Movies. They ran the original Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Instead of dubbing it into English, it was actually in the original Japanese with subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it was an entirely different movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no Perry Mason, right?
There's no well, we like to call him Raymond Burr, but yes, no Perry Mason. Yeah, you can call him Perry Mason all the time. He didn't mind. And but yeah, no, I remember going to see there was an Italian film at one. I believe it won Best Picture. Remember Life is Beautiful, about the concentration camp.
Yes, yeah.
And I remember my partner at the time. He was like, "Oh, I don't want to go see a movie I have to read." I'm like, "No, come on, we got to see this movie." And so we went to see it, and he fell in love with it. And then he took out a DVD copy from back when there were still video stores then, and it was a dubbed version. And he said, "You know what? This is not the same movie." I'm like, "I know. See, yeah,
right.
It's not the same movie when you dub it. Right. No." And it was the same thing with Godzilla, King of the Monsters, despite the Raymond Burr not being in it.
Yeah. Is there an American actor in Gargantuans? In the Japanese version?
I haven't checked out my copy yet.
Okay.
So
guy he looks like he's on drugs, like the whole movie. He's just like,
oh God. But that's a perfect segue for me to talk about me, which is my favorite thing to do.
And your pan flute. Or you want to segue to your high school story already?
No.
Okay.
Listen, I booked 3 hours.
No, you're only getting 15 minutes, and it's already 10 minutes are already gone.
We're filmed 3 hours. So, sorry, John, you didn't know.
That's all right.
So we negotiated down for 6.
I got to be to bed. I got to be to bed at 9 o'clock. So you, anyway.
It's okay. I have a very soothing voice. I'll lull you to slumber.
Yes, you do have you do. You really do have a nice voice.
But he had a pan flute, so I'm still worried.
Yeah. Well, I missed your birthday, so the pan flutes are ready.
Okay.
Well, yes. Tim was, and this is dating us, but Tim was a big Zamfir fan, I remember, in high school. Remember Zamfir, the pan flute? Didn't he sell more records in the UK than Elvis and the Beatles combined or something like that? That was, I can remember in high school, Tim was a huge Zamfir fan. He would just get his boombox out and crank Zamfir to the, but number 10, it was.
That's how I got out of gym class.
You were the lonely shepherd. It's funny because gym class actually ties into my story. Well, that's probably not too surprising. Also, I listened to previous epissodes, and every single episode I just binged them, and
you stayed awake.
I didn't say that, but I'm surprised. Everyone else, you're like, oh yeah, you had talked previously with these people about what their story was going to be. We've talked about nothing. You know nothing.
Yeah.
All I've done is incite fear and worry into you. That's about it.
Well, if you heard Theo's, I knew he had been mugged by Tony Randall, but I didn't know the other story. I didn't know the rest.
Okay. Yeah, I like Theo's.
The Epicac story. Yeah. Epicac story.
Yeah, that was amazing. I was listening to it over the weekend and had to split it up. And so I was like brushing my teeth while I was listening to the vomit story. I was cracking up. Megan was downstairs and she never asks. She hears me
never asks what you're laughing about?
No, never.
She's just used to it.
Yeah, she'll hear me belly laughing about something and she's just like, I know it's better not to ask.
No, I got to get back to work on this logo. Don't ask me questions.
Less spaghetti, more Freddy. No, too much Freddy, more spaghetti.
So yeah. Well, actually, yeah, that kind of has been a discussion.
Well, I do have
phrasing.
I do have a question about your podcast because there are many spaghetti Western movies and only 7 Freddy. I checked 7 Freddy movies, right?
Yes, that is.
So
correct.
I don't know exactly. Are you going to talk about 5 spaghetti Westerns and then talk about 1 Freddy movie, or every other week? You're not going to tell me.
Do you want me to tune in, Tim?
I know.
I will tune in.
Okay, you better. Yeah. So I will say this: we've got a few tricks up our sleeves.
Okay.
And I'll add myself. I said sleeves multiple. For the most part, it's Yoli's. She'll hate me for saying this, but it's Yoli's podcast, and I even said I'm a co-host. Or wait, what did I say? That she's the host and I'm a co-host, and she's like, no, we're both co-hosts.
That's what John. That's what me and John talk about all the time. I'm like, John, you're equal partner, and he's like, no.
Well, Yoli does editing.
Andy,
I do the editing too.
Yeah, that's.
Tim does all the work.
That's what
I do.
That's how
I show up every third week. Every third week, I pick a movie. I'm witty and charming, and that's it. No, every third week, because you pick one movie, I pick one movie, and then we have a guest.
Oh, we have a guest. Yes.
So it's every third week I pick a movie. And I don't even really try that hard on that. I'm just saying.
No, you don't. They're terrible movies.
So Yoli does most of everything. There was, at the beginning, I was going to edit all of the Freddy movies, and she was going to edit the spaghetti movies, spaghetti Westerns. I guess I should say what the premise of the podcast is.
Sure. That'd be a good place to start.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea, because if Yoli eventually listens to this, I mean, I'm going to drive her up the wall. So, but it's a podcast where we discuss spaghetti Westerns and the Nightmare on Elm Street film series. Can you tell I've had to say that a few times?
Yeah, well, I understood that.
Yeah. So, and spaghetti Westerns, for anyone who doesn't know, are the Western in America basically died out. And then in Europe, specifically Italy, Spain, and Germany, they had a resurgence of Westerns, known as spaghetti Westerns, because of Italy. They're known as macaroni Westerns, I think in Japan they called them.
What?
But
racist.
Yeah. Well.
Did you know there's no word for spaghetti in Japanese, apparently. I'm totally making that up.
You're making that up.
You should have remained silent and then just
Italy stole the noodle from Japan, so
that's right. So
long simmering hate between the two cultures.
Yes, they called it the ramen Westerns. So, but anyway, so we're focusing on just the spaghetti Westerns, which there's a ton, and people keep asking me. They're like, so have you guys stuck to spaghetti Westerns, or have you done American ones too? I'm like, no, they're all authentic. There's a lot. Like, we're fine. But we honestly had the question that you had, Tim, where going into season 2, we basically, season 1 is capping off.
Whoa.
And that, it really just means we made it through all 7 Nightmare on Elm Street and 7 spaghetti Westerns. I will tell you this, because you'll know in like a week or two that we alternate. We've got Western, Nightmare on Elm Street. And then, but I will not reveal what we've planned for season 2. The listeners probably won't even know that there's a gap between seasons, but for us, we're just going to take a couple weeks off.
We're going to do that too.
And we're going to throw some mailbag stuff in as their own episodes.
I thought you might do some like fantasy episodes where Freddy would cross over with that season of Dallas that was all a dream.
Oh my God. Was that just one season? I thought it was a show.
That was just
one
season.
John knows.
No, it was just one season.
The whole season was a dream.
From when Bobby got hit by the car at the end of one season, and the next season, Pam opens up the shower, and there's Bobby taking a shower. It was all a dream. And then you never saw any of his
Larry
actors.
Hagman versus Freddy.
Oh, what was that, Tim?
Oh, Larry Hagman versus Freddy. It would be good. Because I don't think the episode is out yet, but we learned that when Larry Hagman didn't like a script on I Dream of Jeannie, he would urinate on the set, like on the chairs, on the tables. Whoa. Or vomit.
Wow. He would get his ipecac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God. So let's see.
My favorite Gary Hagman fact.
God. So yeah. Okay. Here's there's so many things going on right now. First of all, I have I cracked a beer as soon as 5 o'clock hit, and then because I thought my workday was over, it was not over. It kept going. But I've got a Brooklyn.
Yes.
That's in tribute to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then
I had
John. Yes. Tim?
I had like a rum and mango and coconut juice.
Nice. John, I just wanted to ask you if the drive-in is worth going to.
The Finger Lakes Drive-In?
That's how I know. The Auburn. Yeah, that's how I know.
Yeah, the Finger Lakes Drive-In is out on 5 and 20.
Yep.
It's not actually too far from where my mom is. Actually, I haven't been out there. I've been back here for just a little over 6 years, and I have not been back out yet. But obviously, during the pandemic, it was very popular.
That's what I was hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember going to a drive-in in Durham, North Carolina, and it was just like, shoot 'em up, and that was no fun. But no, like gang turf wars, and it was terrible. Oh, Durham was a miserable place.
To get your parking spot?
Yeah, basically, I had to take out my Glock. Thank goodness I had my dad's Glock. I was like, no, get your hands off that speaker.
I thought you meant you were seeing the Clive Owen movie, Shoot 'Em Up, at the drive-in, that was a review of the movie. Okay.
But no, I've never heard of any. I've never, and that's how I kind of base. No, I haven't heard about any incidents out there. So no, it's actually I hear it's a very enjoyable evening from what I understand.
Yeah, I've never been to a drive-in theater, and I'm a movie enthusiast. How's that?
John told his drive-in story, and I don't have much of one except my parents took me to see a double feature of Tora, Tora, Tora and American Graffiti. And of course, I fell asleep during Tora, Tora, Tora. That movie's 6 hours long. I don't know.
Oh, that is a terribly long movie. Yes,
that is.
I remember they showed it on I remember they debuted it on CBS on TV, and I think it was like 2 nights of Tora, Tora, Tora. It was my Lord.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an expert by any means. And so that's the thing about whatever the hell the name of the podcast I'm on is, Spaghetti and Freddy. Is that right? Okay.
That's what you said. That's what you said. You better start sticking to it.
I think it's macaroni and Freddy. Yes, I think that's called
whatever Tim said was accurate.
That's what they call it in Japan.
Yeah, that's right. So I hadn't seen Westerns. Well, wait. I hadn't seen spaghetti Westerns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, including like Fistful of Dollars for a Few Dollars More, Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I hadn't until the podcast.
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is one of my favorites. I'll watch that once a year.
We'll see what I think of it once that episode airs.
Well, I mean, it's not even just one of the greatest Westerns. It's like one of the greatest films of all time. It like transcends genre. It's just like such a good movie.
He doesn't want to give away all his material right here.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you watch Django, the one with where he's dragging the coffin around? Okay.
Yep. We've watched a good amount of Corbucci films.
How about Companeros that we watched on Bat and Spider? Did you watch that one?
I will reveal to you that was our test episode.
Okay.
We did that, so it's our episode 0, which is not going to officially be published.
We did that too.
But it might be. Okay. I think there were basically, Yoli said she listened to our first episode again recently, and she said it was okay. She said it was listenable. That's
what happened to ours. Don't feel bad.
Well,
John was vomiting, and I was like, maybe let's do this again.
Oh no!
Yeah.
So Yoli had nothing bad to say about it. I was the one who was saying, like, can you even listen to it? Mm-hmm. And how terrible is it? And she did say, we've definitely gotten better.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
that's natural.
Yeah. And
you didn't have the pan flute at the start, right?
Oh, no. I've always had the pan flute. I don't know.
Is that how you did your theme song? Is going to be a pan flute? That would be great.
I wish. No,
season 2. Come on.
We had someone professional do our theme song, and like, But anyway, so yeah, I hadn't seen the Westerns, and it was a genre I wanted to check out. So, but it was Compañeros that got her into this.
Really?
From Bad Spider. Yeah.
Did you see that movie, John, ever? It's kind of a little known movie.
No, I don't. I can't say. I mean, I've heard of it. I'm aware of it, but I can't say I've ever seen it.
Yeah. The biggest act.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The biggest American actor is.
Oh yeah, Jack Palance.
Jack Palance is in it. Yeah.
Yep. Who shows up in another movie that we just watched, or we're going to be doing tomorrow. Same director. He's also in it. Also, Franco Nero's in that movie as well.
Oh, Vanessa Redgrave's husband. Yes, yeah.
I was going to say,
you don't know who Vanessa Redgrave is?
No.
He does too. He's pulling your leg. We didn't know who she's married to.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Franco Nero's showed up.
I heard, speaking of Jack Palance, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he did an episode of a Resurrected Twilight Zone show.
Yes,
if I remember.
And John was an extra in.
I was an extra.
We're going to watch that.
So, when they resurrected Twilight Zone, did they do remakes of the original episodes?
No, what it was they found in Rod Serling's attic, literally. And, of course, Rod Serling's buried in Interlaken, which is between Cuba and Seneca Lakes, not too far from here. They found these 2 unproduced scripts, and they just went ahead and they produced them. I mean, that's the story. That was the story they gave them the publicity. So it was just a one-off. It was just this one night in 93, 94, whenever it was. And
there's a bad copy on YouTube. I watched somebody to try to find John, but I guess I couldn't.
How was it?
Show you where it is.
Not trying to find John, but how was the episode or movie or whatever?
Oh, I just fast forwarded to find John. I didn't watch it yet. I think maybe we'll watch it for one of our episodes, maybe.
Okay. I mean that ties into the theme of your show.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. There's no high school kids.
That's very quickly what I'm finding a show becomes. That's why with season 2 we're like, okay, there's only so much Freddy. What do we do now? But we actually have ideas. So
okay.
Season 3, all bets are off.
I betcha.
It'll be Chucky and Spaghetti or something at that point. Who knows? So.
Freddy versus Danny Kaye and the Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Come on, you got lots of.
That's right. There's options.
Freddy versus the entire Newhart TV show. That was all a dream.
Freddy versus Maude.
Yeah. I was waiting for a Maude. I was waiting for a Maude.
Well, I didn't want to say anything because I think it might be a dream. I think it might be a question later, so I didn't want to say anything.
Okay. So
tell us your story.
Yeah, okay.
If you want, do you want to get to your story, or
sure. Yeah, I was gonna play "Happy Birthday" for you because I missed your birthday. You purposely, you said you had sushi, which is what I do for my birthday too. So
in Rochester, you're brave. Sorry, I don't mean to diss Rochester.
As I choke in my beer, there's a really good sushi restaurant. I'm not going to plug them because Sakura Home. Yeah, I will plug them.
Okay.
I wasn't going to because I couldn't remember their name, but yeah, they're great.
Okay.
And they have a little koi pond. You walk over a bridge to go to your table. It's great.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm playing Happy Birthday for you, Tim.
Do it.
And you can see live how absolutely terrible it is. So. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Here we go.
You ready for Zamfir?
I'm a fan of Zamfir, so you got a lot to live up to.
Okay, I'm ready to see you cry. So there we go.
I can play guitar.
Okay,
I'm not going to accompany you though.
Okay.
Oh.
Yay.
There you go.
Was that it?
Yes.
Thank you.
I smell a Grammy.
It's what everyone wants for their birthday. So there you go.
Do you hear did I hear a door slam? Did your girlfriend leave?
No, she's out. So yeah. And then I found my slide whistle, but we don't need it. So
no.
But
I'd get one too, but I don't want to copy Chuck. The real
that's
Chuck.
The thing. That's the thing. Chuck had one by coincidence, not knowing that I had one. Because I have people that buy me things and go, "This seems like something you should have." Someone gave me an air horn to have at the office, and it's like, yeah, it's like industrial level. We're all remote now at work, and so as we're closing up for everyone, yes. Megan, my girlfriend, even said the other day something to the I don't know. Everyone basically says the same things to me, but they're like talking about closing up. Yeah.
They're like, here's some condoms. Something you should own.
Consistency. Well, in my case, it's a slide whistle. So take that how you will.
But what'd you do with the megaphone?
I've got a megaphone.
Air horn. Oh, you got a megaphone too.
I've got a megaphone. Logically, who doesn't? But the air horn. As we were cleaning up the office to close, I said, I need to try this finally. And it was amazing. It was teeth rattling. Nice. So I will combine that with the megaphone and see what happens. But then I found I actually already had an air horn when I was cleaning. So
when she falls asleep working on the logo for your show, you use that.
Yes, that's a good idea. No,
I don't. Back to work.
Megan can sleep through anything. I'll be like, there's a new Rammstein album out. Let's listen to it. Bam, she's out. It's like German metal, and she's just out. So, yeah.
I don't know German metal except for Hellhammer. Do you know them?
I actually don't know Hellhammer.
Okay.
No.
I knew a German... I shouldn't say German person. Yeah, so he was from Germany. He was here in Brooklyn, and he was always like, have you heard the new Hellhammer? And I'm like, I don't know Hellhammer. It's the only band he listened to.
You hesitated from saying German person.
Yeah, that's a weird way to say it, I guess.
So we just watched...
A German. Why was I saying that? I've had too much.
Because you wanted to say Kraut. That's what you wanted to say. Kraut, Jerry.
Okay, so here's the thing. We're watching a spaghetti western.
That's not a segue.
It is. I will refrain from where else I could go with this story. But we're watching a spaghetti western, and they kept calling a character a Polak. And Megan was like, I can't believe it. And I'm like, no, Megan. In the 90s, for whatever reason, Polak was like the butt of jokes.
80s.
80s, 90s, as you guys remember. And I said, no, I think technically the correct term to refer to someone who's from Poland is a Polak, like a German, So
I don't know. But
I guess.
Was it meant as insult in the movie?
No, it was.
Oh, they were just referring to it. Okay.
Yeah, someone who was Polish.
But I do have a question for you. Or are we going to get into the story? How are we doing this? How are we doing this?
No, go ahead. You ask. You ask, John.
No, it's not my podcast. It's Tim's podcast. I'm just the guy who shows up every Monday at 7:30 and picks a really lame TV movie every third week. So my burning question for you is Freddy versus Jason a Nightmare on Elm Street movie, or is it a Friday the 13th movie?
Well, it's funny because we haven't got to the movie yet, so you're going to get my hot take. Okay. Sorry, Yoli, I'm steamrolling you with my opinions, like I do every week. But I would say it is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
That is correct.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Good.
No, because it takes place in Springwood, and not to give too much away, but. Freddy is the catalyst in the beginning for the entire Jason coming back. And so, yes, there are some 100%. Scenes at Camp Crystal Lake, But yes, for all intents and purposes, I would say that yes, it is a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. And also the last time Robert Englund played Freddy.
Yeah. There's a catch to that. There's the show The Goldbergs, and he reappeared in an episode of that to play. He put the makeup on again for The Goldbergs. Before that, he was doing interesting. Yep. So
I love The Goldbergs.
He would do charity events where he put it on, but yeah, that's the only episode I've seen. Actually, no, I lied. I just saw the first episode within the past month.
I've not seen the show.
Encouraging me to watch it. So, and whatever it's streaming on, I have now. I didn't have before. So, but yeah, the Freddy episode, I made an effort to seek out just because I've always been a fan. So, but you'll hear about my history with Freddy on the podcast.
Okay, I've only seen the first one, so maybe I'll watch them when you watch them.
You should. You really should. It's basically up until the end. It's worth the journey, and then Freddy vs. Jason, I would say, is worth your time. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm not a big Jason fan.
Yeah.
I like select films, but I am a Freddy fan. So, which is also how Yoli lured me into doing the podcast. So.
Okay. I look forward to hearing it.
Mm-hmm. So So
let's get to your story.
Yeah,
we're only giving you 45 minutes. You got like 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So I got to go to bed.
Should I tell Okay. Should I tell about when Andrew Clark taped my buns together and then he ended up getting detention?
What, you just told the whole story.
Bastard Andrew Clark. I've heard about him. Where'd you go to high school? Greece, Rush, Henrietta. Where'd you go to high school?
Yeah. First start, where did you go to high school?
So first of all, I'll tell my real story. That was a Breakfast Club reference.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed it.
I'm sorry. That's one of my favorite movies. I am...
Yeah.
Obviously not, John.
Here's the thing. The line that's a giveaway is taped his buns together because Emilio Estevez says those lines, and those always stood out to me. I first saw the movie in a sociology class in high school, and I had no idea about the movie before that, so it was fantastic. It was they split up over 2 classes, but that's probably my favorite high school memory.
That came out when I was a senior in high school.
Let's see, what year was it that it came out?
They showed us A Man for All Seasons 85. In high school.
Yep. Were you doubting me? Were you doubting me, Kevin, that it came out my senior year of high school? That was actually
no.
That was actually the story of my high school life. I spent a lot of time in detention and in school suspension. It's like I kind of took like being in Homer at 8:20 as more of kind of a suggestion than a requirement.
So, full disclosure, before you're going into this thinking, oh, that's so embarrassing. It's not an embarrassing story. It's just a story of high school. Yeah.
It can be weird. It can be horrific.
I have a horrific story to tell you. I'm trying to think of
it's supposed to be a little bit funny.
No, there's nothing funny about it.
No.
I'm just kidding. No. But okay, so I have 2 stories. Let me tell the story I was going to tell, and then I'll tell you something horrific, and then I'll just hang up. So there's a deafening silence from where I was. So the, I guess, fun story is, I think it was junior year. So I don't know. I didn't really fit into a clique. If you ever watched the show Freaks and Geeks, I was kind of the character Lindsay.
Okay.
Like, down to the detail of the jacket. My dad was in the Vietnam War. And so I had some of his jackets. And so I just decided to start wearing one of his, I guess they were flak jackets, just like, the green military jacket.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I went through a couple. One caught on fire. So that's another,
that's another thing. We could do a whole podcast with Kevin.
Your dad.
Anyway, go ahead.
I was going to say. Yes. So, yeah, that'll be another story. So regardless, I kind of didn't fit into a clique. But the friends I grew up with I grew up in the middle of nowhere. Sure, I'm near Rochester, but I grew up in I went to Pale Mac. So it's out in Macedon area.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
What's that, Tim?
Yeah, both of us were in the middle of nowhere in New York State too. So
okay, yeah. I literally grew up. My mom reminded me recently that when we moved out there, it was dirt roads, and obviously now they're paved. Well, not obviously. Now they're paved, and there's giant freaking mansions built, and it's just an entirely different place. But we grew up next to farms and by farmers, and that's the life I grew up with. So your friends would basically just be whoever the hell was around who was not 70. If they're 60, yeah,
60,
exactly.
You can hang out with them.
Yeah, if they're 60, you hang out. Yeah, but so I had friends that in the block, which you couldn't even once you could ride a bike, you couldn't. I mean, I like to sit and watch movies.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily out of shape, but even back then, I wasn't going to ride my bike to my friend's house because
down the dirt road.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Yeah, so, hit a cow.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but the friends I grew up with and initially were just the people that were in my vicinity. Mm-hmm. So they weren't I chose these friends. They're great people. Don't get me wrong, and they still are actually. But these friends went off to be what's that?
Why are you making quotes when you say they're great people? All right.
They will never listen to this. Okay. So because they're great people.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Well.
So, meaning they have children and lives.
Yeah, I know.
You
can't run the risk of children hearing this podcast. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
it's true. I was going to say I haven't sworn or cussed at all this entire time. I'm amazed. So anyway, let's see. Where was I going with this? So they became the valedictorian and literally, and basically just all the top honor students, and that was fine. But I just kind of diverged at some point where I was, dancing the line between if I was a freak or a geek, basically. Mm-hmm. And I remember going to a math class. Turns out I was a hardcore geek, but I had a rebellious streak. I'm not intending to make everything I say rhyme. It's just happening. So, so I went to a math class and I luckily don't remember the math teacher's name, otherwise I would call her out. For the two listeners, to track her down. John, these are the jokes that make on our podcast. Yes. So anyway, regardless, this math teacher sucked. I did the assignment I needed to do, and it was not Pythagorean's theorem, but it was some other thing comparable.
So you're talking math. You're talking math 10. Oh my God, I hated math 10. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So anyway, so it wasn't that, but it was some other one, and I came to the same conclusion. And I basically said, I got there much faster, and look, this holds up across the board and always works. And I get the right answer every time, and it's a faster, more efficient way to do it. Teacher was like, fuck you. I just wanted to be able to swear.
Okay.
This is not what the assignment was, and you have to use this formula. I don't care that you got the right answer. And I'm like, school's suddenly not about learning. It's about following the rules. Mm-hmm. So, and I always kind of had a rebellious attitude, but good grades up to the point. And at that point, I'm just like, okay, screw it. But instead of skipping school to not go to school at all, I instead had a art teacher who, I had a heavy art background and was just always involved in art.
Yeah.
And so basically I would just say to her, hey, I have a study hall and can I use the design room? It was just a room that had old computers and well, I guess they weren't old at the time, but, can I go in there?
They were as big as the whole room, right?
That's right. Yes, I got the radiation levels from those. But so I would go in and I would just screw around on the computers. It was a dark room. When class was in a session, and I was in the one class that it was, an additional like elected class, which was like graphic design. And so I was in that class, so I knew what it wasn't. And so I would just go into this room and hang out. And so it became my whole day. I would just skip everything. It started with, I'm not going to gym or I'm not going to math. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to skip everything. So I wasn't skipping school and leaving it. No, I was staying in the school and actually I was like working in Photoshop and things of that nature, which were early back in the day.
The art teacher wasn't like, don't you have to go somewhere else? Or
no, that's the funny thing. Clearly she must have known. I also kept the lights off. That was part of the trick.
Okay.
So, which is very fitting for someone working at a computer for a lot of his career, which I know you guys don't know what I do, but we'll get there.
Okay.
But within the 3-hour mark, we'll get there.
You got 5 minutes.
So anyway, so basically I would just hang out in this room. My friends would come in, and then we realized this wasn't enough. So I went to some office I'd never been in, and I was just like, hey, I need the TV for so-and-so's class. We're going to watch a movie. And it was the TV strapped chained to a cart.
I remember
those, with a VCR.
Yep.
And I just bullshitted my way through it very easily. And got it, brought it back to the room. And I remember watching a VHS copy of like Army of Darkness. I'm trying to think of some other things that we'd watch, but a lot of like things of that nature.
Yes.
And a lot of comedies. I would think Monty Python's Holy Grail, but that seems a little. School. It seems a little too on the nose. No. These were our dubs.
Oh, I see.
These were our bootlegs. You'd rent it and then just have a second VCR, make a copy.
I remember doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, the pirated copies.
Yes.
So, and there's a girl I'd like, so she would like swing by, and I'd be like, oh, you like Army of Darkness, so we can watch it, and whatever. That's as far as the relationship got. But anyway, and there was a foreign exchange student who was in there actually like trying to do work. And I'm like, hey, I'm just going to sleep under this desk. I hope you don't mind. And he's just like,
So that's what we do in America.
Yeah. It is. He didn't care. So I would spend most of the day just sleeping under a desk.
Was he a German person?
No, that's a great question. And I was actually thinking he was. But
sorry,
now I don't know for sure.
Just want to call back my.
Never apologize for saying a German person. So I'm a German person, so you can say it. I'm not offended. So anyway, so that was a lot of my high school. So I know it's surprising, but I'm not in high school still. I managed to get out, but this was like junior year. I get to senior year, and suddenly I have to take double gym class because I skipped so much gym class. So, which I mean, I know I've described myself as quite the jock up to this point, but wasn't a fan. Yes. My rippling, my neck that's thicker than my head and my headphones. So
when you played the flute, your veins were popping out of your neck and everything.
That's right. I had to use my flute hair, my slide whistle to beat away all the attractive women as I played the panpipes. So anyway, so I got to senior year and I had double gym class, which, I didn't want to go once, let alone twice. No. So my solution to this was just not go to either because I'm already so in debt with gym class that how the hell am I going to do it? I went to a couple and then I would forge a note or I'd forge something to get me out of having to do
or
things.
Or you just vomit. Vomit and urinate on everything.
If I knew, and if I knew about the ink thing in the shoes,
the ink blotters.
If I knew about the ink blotters, that could have been very helpful when I was younger. back then,
I'm still skeptical about that, but anyway.
To a light bulb.
Yeah.
So anyway,
oh my God, you've got a 222 temperature.
Yeah, that was the light bulb solution. Yeah, so it was always way too high.
Yeah,
but anyway, so my friends and I were in one class I wanted to be in, which is like a programming class, senior year, and so it was in this room where, and this technology predated. We're video chatting right now. This was way advanced, but there was a room in the high school dedicated to being able just to do video chat with a teacher in a different school. Oh. And then it was a bunch of just like the weirdest freaks you've ever seen. And I make no apologies. There was like a kid who I saw was like in middle or elementary school doing this programming class, which is way above kids of that level normally. Right. And he was just, I mean, you could basically tell that he could do that and nothing else. Right, and so my friends and I were in this class, and we would basically use the time to one person would do the homework, and then we play first-person shooters using the school's network. And the guy watching us outside of when we were in we do the once a week where there's the video conference, and otherwise you just do the homework. So guy that watched us was like the woodshop teacher, and he would literally lean his chair against the blackboard and fall asleep. I'm talking full on snoring and everything. So we had full run to do whatever the hell we wanted. We were in a room with a line of computers, and it's like the programming geeks. Yeah. So like I said, we play a lot of video games. We ended up hacking the entire network of the full school. Where we didn't do anything too bad, but basically what we could do was, it was just some. Yes, Tim, I see you have questions.
Oh, when you say you packed the whole computer, what are you saying? Oh, hacked. Sorry,
yes,
you hacked the whole. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm using elite hacker terms.
All right. Yes.
So I should have told you to watch the movie Hackers.
I should have watched that. Yes.
Yeah, I noticed you said it wasn't that.
I know you're an expert hacker because you have your name as Chuck Forsman. I mean, I don't know how you did that.
Yeah, I had to steal his identity and wear his skin, but it was worth it.
Sorry, John, what are you trying to say?
No, I just noticed he said it wasn't that bad. He didn't say it was legal. I did notice that.
Right.
I'm not saying what's legal or illegal. So times are different.
Yeah,
so regardless, as far as what I knew that we were doing was, as I stated, the core, as far as I knew, we were just screwing around with other computers, and we could basically just type something and it would type on that screen. We could open someone's like CD drive, things like that. We could turn off their computer. We could turn the monitor on and off. We did start to get more and more ambitious,
right?
And brazen. I think that's a good term. And we did turn off an entire room's computers that was like across the hall, and so we heard like this loud exclamation of "No!" from everyone. And one of our friends knew where we were, and he blasted into the room. He was just like yelling at us. That didn't blow our cover though. So regardless, we would just muck about.
And may I just say out loud, you had some very unobservant teachers at your school, but
right?
Yes. Well,
where were these teachers when I was in high school?
I did get called into the principal's office, and he basically said there was they started installing security, more and more security on the network, and we just blasted through it. And so he had said to me, basically, he's like, we keep installing things and basically that you guys just keep getting through it. We just need you guys to work with us. And I just first of all, why? And second of all, I just remained silent the entire time. I just, there's nothing to deny if you say nothing. And I acted dumber than I was. And
you guys were being very industrious.
Yes, exactly.
You'd think they would applaud that, but no.
No, well, I learned quickly with the math class that they don't want you to think. So anyway, there was one time when there was a friend of ours who basically was at a point of failing some class, and it was my friends, not I, but who might have adjusted a grade so he was passing. And I thought, oh wow, I didn't think much of it other than that's neat that they can do that. And then I went back to playing games. So here's the thing: it wasn't until like 60 years later from high school that I realized
you could have fixed your grades.
Well, wait. Here's the thing: I don't know. I started getting detention for various things, and then I'd show up at detention, and it was the gym teacher, coincidentally, and they'd be like, "What are you doing here?" And I would just be like, "Oh, I guess I'm in the wrong place." First of all, he's the one that gave me detention. Second of all, he had no idea why I was in detention, so I just turned around and left. But then past that, I showed up for my double gym class one day because I'm like, "Crap, we're in the final quarter of the school year. I guess I need to cram these in."
Yeah.
And so I showed up, and he's like, looked at my reports, and he's like, "You're all caught up. Why are you here?" Yeah, and I'm like,
somebody else hacked
you now have
don't give the story away, Tim.
Sorry.
Well, I think your audience can figure it out too. But here's the thing: I was just like, I'm not going to question this. I'm just going back to working on design and like hanging out at the computers, And so,
plausible.
To be fair, most of my design, as I remember it now, was me photoshopping my friends' faces onto bodies of other people. So anyway, which makes you pretty popular in high school. And then actually my first job, career-wise, was
making fake licenses for people.
Well,
passports.
That's another story. But once again, photoshopping and being a big hit. But anyway. So, it wasn't until years later. So I graduated just fine. And I hadn't gone to physics and done the homework in forever. I didn't do my double gym class. So I haven't questioned my friends. And I will not say legally what my friends not do for a living. Because it's a complete 180 from where they were at. Okay. And it blew my mind that they went into certain career fields. I kind of career. I sort of tread the line where it makes sense, but regardless, thank you, friends. I don't think I would have got through high school otherwise.
But you're totally unprepared for life. You missed double gym class.
Yeah, exactly. My gym
teacher. That would have been very risky though. That would have been very risky though. Back-to-back dodgeball games in the same day. That would have been very risky. You could have gone to the emergency room.
I will say no one hit me in dodgeball because I didn't. They could.
Well, you weren't there. Well, you weren't there. Is that going to be unless they're going to go down to this computer. Unless they're going to go down to this computer lab with a dodgeball. Of course they wouldn't hit you, Kevin. Come on.
It's true. Well, starting off though, even I just did not take it seriously, and so they were like, "Oh, he's no threat," and so they left me alone. I would do as little as possible.
And did you take double square dancing class? Did they make you do that?
That was elementary school.
They made us do that in high school.
We had to do it in high school.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was.
Oh my god!
All the sweaty hands.
I think we did 6-week mods. I think we had 6-week mods, and was it 6 weeks, Tim? I think it was every 6 weeks we switched out for gym, or was it 3 weeks?
Oh no,
that I don't remember.
Because it always started out with golf, archery, or bowling.
Yes,
and you could never get into bowling because that would fill up.
Okay.
And then the last mod of the year would be golf, archery, or bowling.
Amazing.
And when we went bowling, I already mentioned this before, I think I mentioned this in a call into Bat and Spider. The bowling alley just had video games where a different age than you, and all the kids were just like putting quarters in the machines and playing Pac-Man, and then they see someone like me and threaten me to give me my change to them to play.
Oh no!
And I'd just be like, I got nothing. I had quarters in my pocket.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, I'm not playing anymore. I don't have anything.
No, the other story I was just going to tell was, which that's my primary story. This other story is just is it came up in conversation with Megan. So, and then we'll talk about whatever.
If your friends, I'm assuming your friends now work in the government, and if they were able to cancel gym class, maybe they can cancel all the student debt. So,
I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
There. People can't see video.
He could say something, Tim, but then he'd have to get somebody else to start his car for a month.
Yes. He's trying.
That's right. I lucked out with where my friends ended up.
Okay.
So, but everyone has worked out. So we've got people in all various areas. It's worked out well. So, but anyway, no. So this story was just an odd one, even at the time. So I'll share it. So recently, and she'll never listen to this. So, but
Jesus, he's got a very low opinion of this show. I mean, I just say that out loud. They'll never listen.
Many listeners.
Why did you book this guy again, Tim? What's going on here? What the hell?
I don't know either. I listen to other episodes and it's like, I'm a cartoonist for the New Yorker. And then
nobody's going to listen to this show. Nobody's going to listen to this show, so I don't care. I'll say anything. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Jeez.
It's like, how does Tim know me? It's like, he's that guy that harasses these other people that I know that I harass too. Let's have him on the show. That makes sense.
No, you have a podcast, so.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forget because we've only been recording it for like forever and released no episodes. We might be on 13 or 14.
It'll be out when this it airs.
It will.
Record ahead.
It will. Yep. So
amazing podcast.
And we're I thought you were talking about your own.
Mine too, yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yours is amazing.
Well, somebody's got to hype this up, Kevin, because you sure as hell are.
I know. I was gonna say you're patting stuff on the back. It's an amazing podcast. It's your rocking your chair.
I do every night.
Yes. So let me tell the disturbing story, and then we'll stop laughing.
All right.
This is the day the laughter died. No, it's so I'm still figuring it out. So we'll figure it out together. So
great.
going along with the fact that I was hanging out with all different groups, I had a friend who was the stereotypical like buzz cut guy, leather jacket, spikes. I'm trying to think, guar, he's in a guar, things like that. Yeah. So Chuck Forsman type, that type of guy. And so I'd hang out. What's that? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna
because no one's listening. No one's listening.
Yeah, I'm gonna make him listen.
Nobody listens to us. Why are we even recording this? Nobody's listening.
Yeah, I will play this against the walls in his house so he can hear it.
Okay.
So, but anyway, so this filthy dirtbag.
No,
I'm just kidding. So this guy who was metal punk type dude, whatever. So I hung out with him and his friends, and so all of a sudden, and it was like lunch table crew. It's like, who do you sit with on the bus and the lunch table if you're still riding the bus? And so it was this guy, and all of a sudden, it's him and this other friend of his who would bully me, like tease me a little, but gentle ribbing. And then along came this other guy who I'd never seen before, come strolling in, and complete asshole, just like, who's this kid? Because I was a little younger than him, a grade or two, maybe a grade. It was just a single grade. Not that it matters even slightly, but I'm piecing together the details of memories that therapy has helped me to forget.
Who's this kid with the flute?
That's right. Yes. So they're like, the flute's cool, but I'm not sure about the kid. They're like, he has a slide whistle. That's awesome. But does he have panpipes? And the other guy, the new guy, pulled out the panpipes. And I'm like,
that day I vowed to myself I would learn the pan flute.
Yes. And I'm
right.
It takes a lifetime to master.
Apparently.
Well, you know what I've actually discovered today is that mine doesn't have. It's not, my panpipes don't have enough notes to actually play Happy Birthday.
Oh no!
So
you got ripped off.
Yeah,
did you buy that thing on the corner?
I spent hundreds of dollars on this thing.
You did not.
Zamfir could have done it. Zamfir could have played Happy Birthday on that.
You got that out of a Cracker Jack box.
I very well could have. The equivalent. So anyway, this guy bullying me. And it goes on for maybe, I don't know, a week or two. Mm-hmm. But it's not like every day that I see him. It's like once or twice a week. My reaction is more or less just, I kind of just stay quiet. And I'm kind of figuring out if my other friends are going to kind of stand up for me. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, this guy's okay, leave him alone. So I knew nothing about that guy. Still kind of basically know nothing about him. Third week rolls around. Guy doesn't show up. Of course, I'm happy. But I find out within that day, that afternoon, maybe the day later, the reason the guy didn't show up is he's in the hospital or jail. Mm-hmm. At that point, I didn't know which. So that guy went to rob a diner and got someone who owned the diner pulled a shotgun on him and shot him. So he did not die, which, as I was saying to Megan, I was trying to figure out if maybe it was like bird shot and it spread so much that
a shotgun can not kill you and hurt you.
Yeah, or it was rock salt, you know, which wouldn't be unusual with just a small town diner. So regardless, he wasn't a problem anymore, and he went from the hospital to jail. So I basically had a history of that situation happening with people would get on my bad side. This sounds so.
I think you had some. Did you have some other friends that were?
Who knows?
That had access to the 911 dispatcher. Yeah, there you go.
So, but regardless, it's sort of been my history in life of people who have, and I do nothing in retaliation.
Oh,
I don't have to. It's like karma gets to them. Maybe that's what I tell the 8-year-old, because she's dealing with a bully right now. She's in 3rd grade, and we were more or less just figuring out what to do. Because you heard about, your quote unquote kid. Yeah. I mean, I've been in her life for half her life. Yeah. And it's sort of like, oh, you want to say like, at first you're like, okay, I got to teach her to defend herself. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, no, you can't do that. And then you're like, oh, I should teach her a good way to insult this kid. And then you're like, I can't do that either. Yeah. And after a day you realize. Yes. So I was just retracing my bully stories. So.
You're just like, what's their last name? What's their computer address?
Yeah, exactly.
With their parents.
We'll get it taken care of.
But I'm sure she'll be fine. We're still figuring it out. But it got some memories stirring.
Just get her a pan flute and she'll be fine. There you go.
Yeah. That won't draw unnecessary attention to her at all.
Well, when they come for her, she throws the pan flute, out in the road. They'll chase the pan flute.
That's right. Everyone will swarm for it, like zombies over a piece of meat.
Right.
Yep. So it's good. But there you go. Right. I did some talking.
I think we got some material.
Listen, I would talk. But it's easier to edit the show if I keep it short. And you've already talked. You know now, right? Well, you don't have guests.
I know.
Oh, but you know.
Well, I know because we record for like 3 hours.
We started doing that. I'm like, I got to stop this.
Oh, no. We had to stop doing that.
We did too. After I had to edit an episode, I tried. I'm like, no, this isn't happening anymore. Last week, we were down to like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. And Yoli's like, that was really quick. And I'm like, well, I've been trying to lower the time every week.
Because Tim doesn't really like me that much even. Like, he went through this list of people he went to high school with, and I was like number 67 on the list. And I was like, yes, I'll do it.
Well, here's the thing. You guys know each other and knew each other. Yoli and I were complete strangers, other than like barely. Yeah. So I wouldn't say we were perfect strangers, but I would say that we were total strangers. So I am tempted to go to that convention that Marcy mentioned just to meet Belky, cousin Belky. Perfect strangers are going to be there. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I guess none of us are that far.
I saw Belky in the Sondheim review with John Barrowman's ass from our second episode.
Oh.
He was the narrator.
How was Belky?
He was in the apparently.
Okay.
Apparently, Balky went to Yale Drama School, if you can believe it.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Wasn't he?
He was in Risky Business.
Think he was in. I was going to say, it's weird that you mentioned Risky Business. That's on our list to watch. That's one of the Tom Cruise movies Megan and I have never seen.
How does that fit into either category?
No, that just fits into personal life.
All right.
Like, when I'm not watching...
you and Megan. Sorry.
Yeah. When I'm not watching movies for a podcast, I watch movies in real life. It's my endorsement. Risky Business we've never seen. But Balky was also in True Romance, doing lines of coke.
Oh,
yeah. I think that was the first time I saw him with.
See what Yale tuition gets you.
That's right.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay, Chuck.
We did it.
Okay, Chuck.
It's been great having you. Does your podcast have an address I can hype, or I'll hype it after it comes out?
Just Google whatever the name of it is.
Macaroni and Freddy.
We still don't know.
Yes.
Well, once you get everything settled, let us know.
Yes.
Email us. We always love getting emails, and then
we'll re-record it. We'll re-record the whole episode.
Yeah, because when you do a podcast, this is just a little tip from Now We Are Seasoned Podcasters. Have a title. Have a title. That's always a good start. You just can't call it the podcast. Although I wonder if you just call it the podcast.
Well,
you Google the podcast. Somebody must have done that.
Have your girlfriend do a good logo.
Okay, that's another tip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure she knows.
Make her keep on that. She's got it right.
I'm going to say less spaghetti, more Freddy. That's what I'm going with.
It's funny because I will say I was all Freddy, and now I've been watching these westerns. And
more spaghetti.
I am spaghetti. I haven't said it to Yoli because we won't change the format, but I just want to watch the westerns. But I will say, alternating is nice.
It is,
because 2 in a row of the same genre is like, but
Yeah.
All right.
So just follow along with their journey on Spaghetti and Freddy.
I'm going to listen. Honest, I'll listen.
You should. Yeah, I'm not saying it starts off great.
John won't listen, but I'll listen.
That's fine.
Who would listen better? Who would listen to a podcast about spaghetti westerns and Freddy?
That's true. Who would listen to a podcast about?
Who would listen? Nobody's going to listen to that, Tim.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Kevin.
See you guys.
So we got a letter. This is the part of the show where we read letters and we got a letter from Andrew, Dirk, as he's known, from England. You want me to read this?
Please.
You ready? Dearest Tim and John, I've been listening along with the rest of the Bimcoiners.
What are we, Bimcoiners now?
And whilst I have always enjoyed your conversations, I have felt that I am missing out on one very important cultural touchstone. I have never seen an episode of Maude until now, all caps. This evening, I fired up the Youth Tube and watched what the kids would call Maude Season 1, Episode 1. Firstly, did you know it's the lady from the Golden Girls? No, I know.
I've heard of this Golden Girl. What's this Golden Girl show everybody's talking about? Anyway, I'm sorry, keep reading the letter.
I don't know.
I'll have to catch that one day.
Secondly, now I can see why no one would beat Maude in a fight. Because she beat Ed Begley in the first episode, right? He was the guy that came to the door.
Yes.
Ed Begley, Jr. I had a great time and felt fully prepared to begin my new life as a 100% official SETI BIMster. Granted, I have a lot of work to do. I am eager to meet some of her ex-husbands to find out what happens to her friend who was having a hysterectomy and hopefully see more physical violence towards Walter. But please know that from now and for all time, Maude is with me. I cannot thank you enough. Yours, Dirk. Well, thank you, Dirk.
Thank you, Dirk.
I'm very surprised you like Maude.
Well, I was going to...
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not. It's an acquired taste. But here's the thing. What Maude, Maude was, as we've established, a spinoff of All in the Family.
Mm-hmm.
Maude was the liberal response to the conservative Archie Bunker on All in the Family. But All in the Family, Dirk, is based on a British TV show, which perhaps you are familiar, called Till Death Do Us Part, which ran in the late 60s and early 70s. And what I was reading about when Norman Lear created Maude, the spinoff, he based the character on his wife. Mm-hmm. But in the original Till Death Do Us Part, there is actually an episode with a cousin Maude. Now, so that's where they got the actual name. There was actually a cousin Maude in the original Till Death Do Us Part series. Yes. No, it's true. I'm not making it up, but it's Maude.
It's true? Okay.
It's Maude M-A-U-D, not M-A-U-D-E, which I'm guessing might be a British spelling.
Well, it's M-A-U-D-E.
M-A-U-D-E, but this is M-A-U-D is how they spelled Maude.
Yeah. Okay.
As a matter of fact, and I will make this quick, I remember one of the queens of Norway, who was a granddaughter of Queen Victoria, obviously English. Her name was Maude, M-A-U-D, and I remember they had a replica of a statue that sits in Oslo, in the back of this Anglican church. I had gone up there. Oslo was only like about 2 hours from where I lived in Sweden, and they had this little statue, the replica of the one that sits in the park behind, I believe, the palace in Oslo. Mm-hmm. And I can remember because I had been in Sweden now for about 3 months. And what I had realized I had forgotten is that I hadn't heard a child speak English, like a real small child speak English in like 3 months. And I remember all of a sudden there was this little blonde-haired girl standing next to me, and she looks up at me with these big eyes, and she's like, "Excuse me, sir, can you help me? I believe my shoes come untied." And I remember that just like blew my mind. I was like, this 3-year-old child is speaking English. How is this possible? But they were all the English expatriates who were living in Oslo.
And she's asking strangers to tie her shoes. Nobody taught her well.
It was 1983, so. Anyway, so that's how the whole Maude thing. So there you go, Dirk. I got enough English reference in there.
Yeah. And thank you, Dirk. Thank you for your letter.
Thank you for your letter.
Whew. Now we got to go. This episode was packed.
This has been a marathon episode. Yes.
SETI Bimco with an E at gmail.com and SETI_Bimco is Instagram. SETI Bim at Twitter. You like us and share us and give us 5-star reviews. Mm-hmm. That's what you will do. That's what you do for us. Or we will hack your computer and make you do it.
Yeah, even though according to Kevin, nobody's listening. What kind of guest did you book this week? Well, nobody's listening to this anyway. That's more frightening than Patty LuPone.
It is. I'll talk to you next week, John.
All right, Tim. You have a good one.
SETI Bimco is a podcast by Tim Hamilton and John Kelly. Produced by Miss Lee. Music by Tim Hamilton. This has been a Pity Party Line production.
Party line, it's a party line.